Good afternoon, Celtics fans. This is Bobby Gaines, live and unscripted, here to talk about the surprising start for your Boston Celtics. Well, yes, it is surprising. I was going to say, is it really surprising? It's a little surprising. Let's just, go back a second. So I already had a rant on the Celtics a few months ago before the season started, talking about what is the plan for the future. This season, by many, is just considered a throwaway for the Celtics. A year after the Big Three era ended, although you could say it ended after Ray Allen left, but a year after the Celtics got rid of, their lifetime star Paul Pierce and then Kevin Garnett, people just figured the Celtics were going for broke. Celtics were going to tank it. Now, I hate the word tank it for any team, for any reason. I just hate the idea that in any stretch of life, be it sports or whatever, that you're just not going to try. But that's what a lot of people believed. Not only did they believe that, they thought the Celtics were capable of being this terrible team. I never heard such weird analysis of a team. Like, are they bad enough? Should they get worse? And still, there's talk, of them trading Rondo maybe, of them holding Rondo back. Rondo, of course, the only really well-known player on the Celtics that's still there. And, I don't know, the whole thing just has me thinking. And it's had me thinking on and off the whole offseason, going back and forth from, are the Celtics really that bad? Are the Celtics really that good? Does it really matter? Because even if they were better than they are, they wouldn't be a championship team. And even if they were worse than they are, I don't think they'd be a lottery team. I mean, maybe if they were worse, yeah, but it's just baffling to me. I mean, I understand that you had to trade Pierce and Garnett. Again, I don't know if you had to, but, they did. You can't go back from that. But, I don't know. The thing is, it's a crapshoot, really. It truly is. Not just because of the lottery, but because of the players the Celtics have. Regardless of if you've heard of them, if they're all-stars, superstars, they're still going to play. Gerald Wallace, Chris Humphries, Kelly Olynyk, you go down the line. They're playing basketball. They're in the league for a reason. Just because they're not LeBron James, just because they're not big, high-selling names, why does everyone assume that's going to be a 20-win team? Again, now, it can be easy to assume that, but I'm just saying. And then the Celtics hiring Brad Stevens, some people said that was just kind of a move to, Doc Rivers was gone, they didn't really put much thought into it. Other people said it was a very well-thought-out move because Brad Stevens coached the Butler college teams to much success, so he's used to kind of building with young talent. Obviously, Stevens knew he wasn't going to have a championship-caliber team, and if he's on board for that, then, I'm happy for him, and I hope that he's going to take this team in the right direction. But why not start now? I'm not saying go for the championship, but I'm saying why not start getting these guys into a winning attitude? Why bring up these young guys just to have them tank it, is my case. And I know Gerald Wallace and some of the players on the team aren't exactly youngsters, but that's just my point of view. And the Celtics are 4-4 right now. That's kind of the surprising part. And not so much that they're 4-4, but that they've won 4 in a row, a couple in convincing fashion, and one of them against the Miami Heat. Now, you could say the Miami Heat definitely took it easy on them. Kind of one of the things I hate about the Heat, to be honest. The Heat are an arrogant bunch of SOBs, but that's another story altogether. The Heat obviously have the talent to hang with any team in the league, and some nights you can just tell that they're not trying as hard, and usually they can turn it on in the fourth quarter and knock those teams out anyway. See, I hate that. Just as much as I hate tanking, I hate that the Heat just kind of go on cruise control sometimes and then go on a 40-0 run and win the game. That's just another story. But the Celtics, whether they go 500 for the season or they win a lot, lose a lot, whatever, I just want them to try. Just play the damn games. That's what I'm getting at. And I hear a lot of people saying, Danny Ainge did the right thing, not going after a free agent, be it Josh Smith or some other player. But I say, why not? If you don't get them, you don't get them. But why not go for a player? What is the strategy? Again, going back to my previous rant, what is the strategy? Just swing and miss at these free agents that obviously they didn't even swing at. Hope to get Andrew Wiggins. I don't see it happening. Even at 4-4, even with, mediocre talent, I don't see the Celtics being that bad to get Jabari Parker or Andrew Wiggins. And yes, I know, those one of those two players or both of them or the other players in the draft could be really good. But again, that doesn't guarantee you anything either. This idea that if you do this or you do that, you're going to be a good team is just kind of like, how did the Celtics get good? They just were really bad. They didn't even get Greg Oden or Kevin Durant. And by the way, I predicted that Kevin Durant would have a better career than Greg Oden. I also didn't know Greg Oden would go down so quickly, but be that as it may. The Celtics, they had a bad season, but that directly wasn't what gave them Kevin Garnett. You could argue they traded the draft pick, whatever. But the Celtics were bad for years before that, people forget. The Celtics were pretty lousy. The thing that gets me is that, and again, I love Paul Pierce. I'm a big Paul Pierce guy, but Paul Pierce was considered a star of the Celtics, but around the league, you didn't see too many teams clamoring to trade for him during the Celtics' lesser years when Paul Pierce was younger. There were really no trades for Paul Pierce. Nobody proposed any. There was nothing in the works. It wasn't until this past offseason that the Nets took a flyer on him. But I love Paul Pierce. But, what I'm trying to get at is, and even if you look at Chris Bosh with the Toronto Raptors, Chris Bosh was considered this great player. He was also a great player on a team that didn't have anyone else. So my point is, somebody from this Celtics team could emerge. Whether they're good or not, I don't know. But I'm saying, someone's got to get the possession. Somebody's got to play the games. Jeff Green looks like the best player in the Celtics right now. That's just my opinion. Does that mean he's a really great player? Probably not, but he's good enough for this Celtics team. So again, you don't know what's going to develop. You don't know if in a couple of years we'll be looking at the same group that we're going, Kelly Olynyk, Jared Sullinger. And we could be saying, oh yeah, they got Kelly Olynyk and Jared Sullinger. Same with Al Jefferson, when the Celtics had Al Jefferson. Another reason why they were able to get Kevin Garnett. So Al Jefferson was kind of a random player for a couple of years, and then he played more often, and you said, there you go. My point is, whatever happens, I don't want the Celtics to tank it. If they're winning late in the game against a good team, just keep playing the game. If you win it, you win it. If you don't, you don't. If this team is really as mediocre as they're supposed to be, then it'll all even itself out. They'll lose the games they should. They'll win the games, or you know what I'm saying. So don't try to fix it. It's just like in the NFL, I hate when the really good teams, this goes for anybody, when the really good teams in the NFL take the last few games of the season off because they already clinched the number one seed. And I don't mean they just kind of take it easy. I mean, they don't try. They don't put their starters in. Like the Colts, when they used to go 14-0, they just go, we're not going to try. I mean, those teams occasionally win a Super Bowl, but sometimes you see them get blown out in the first round. And I don't know if that's because they didn't keep the gas pedal on or what. But in my opinion, anything you do in life, you go hard. You go big or you go home. Otherwise, why bother showing up? So, to me, a Celtics losing season would be disappointing, but not as disappointing as a tanking season. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think as Celtics fans. I know the reason for tanking if they do, but again, doesn't really make it right. Other teams have had moderate to better success depending on what's happened. You look at teams like the Clippers, the Suns, whatever. They've all had ups and downs, but they find their way back eventually, and I think the Celtics will do the same regardless of how good or bad they are this year or next year. So let me know what you think. Should the Celtics tank it, or should they keep on trying with the talent they have just to win a few games? What do you think?